If you're a woman that's about to embark on a fitness journey or a fat loss journey, then you need to understand your menstrual cycle. I lost over 50 pounds and I've totally recomped my body. And whenever I finally took the time to learn about the menstrual cycle, I stopped feeling like a crazy person. And I was able to then adjust my training and my nutrition in order to allow me to work with my body instead of working against it. Before we even begin to manage our cycle, we firstly want to be understanding what's going on at different points of the month. AKA, we basically want to be understanding what the fuck is going on with our hormones. And yes, I've got a trusty little whiteboard and a diagram to go along with it. The two main hormones that you want to be aware of are estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen is basically your feel-good hormone. It's going to help you be a little bit more resistant to fatigue. It's going to help you recover quicker after your sessions. It's basically the hormone that makes you feel like that bitch. You know what I mean? Progesterone, on the other hand, is responsible for maybe increasing our body temperature, increasing our cravings, and ultimately it can alter how we feel. So now that we've cleared that up, we want to be understanding each phase and how we can adapt our training and nutrition to go hand in hand with each of these phases. First up, we've got the follicular phase, and this can overlap with menstruation. So this will overlap with your actual period. Typically speaking, your period will last anywhere between 1 to 7 days, and the follicular phase will finish on day 14. So you'll notice that once you get your period, estrogen will begin to rise again. You'll start to feel good. You'll maybe have a spike in energy. Training begins to feel a little bit easier again. All in all, the vibes are pretty good throughout the follicular phase once you're finished your period. This then takes us to ovulation, which will usually occur on day 14 of your cycle. Estrogen is basically at its peak at this time. So girl, you're going to be feeling good. Typically speaking, energy is going to be high, training is going to be good, you can be going for PBs, you're going to be feeling strong, and basically around ovulation you're really feeling like that girl. After ovulation, this is when we enter the luteal phase, and this is typically the phase where things can start to take a little bit of a dip. So you'll see that estrogen is beginning to dip again, but progesterone is beginning to rise. And typically speaking, in this phase, for a lot of people, we become a little bit more fatigued. Training is a little bit harder. We have increased cravings. You might see a little bit more bloating. This is basically the time where you may have to reduce your training. You need to pull back on the weights a little bit, maybe increase a little bit more walking, do some more low impact stuff. And you also may need to increase your calories at this phase because you've got increased cravings. That's why it's important to recognize that around the luteal phase and your period, we can pull back on training a little bit and we can increase our calories if need be. If you are in a fat loss phase, there's absolutely nothing wrong with pushing your calories back to maintenance throughout the course of the month if you need to, because your body may need extra calories and there's nothing wrong with that. I get a lot of my clients to sit at maintenance for 2 weeks and then carry out a calorie deficit for the other 2 weeks. This way it can make their nutrition more manageable and it makes their results more sustainable because they're not going absolutely crazy around their time of the month because they have the extra food that they need. And don't be afraid to get to know what's going on in there, okay? And if you find any of this useful, be sure to drop me a comment and let me know, and hit the follow button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bitches!